Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. BTM here, bringing you match 21 on Himalayas. Me, Spanish, opponent, British. Probably the best match I've played on this channel so far. Super excited to bring it to you. Again, today we are going to try immediately going for the Spanish Fast Fortress, which we explored in the last match. Aging with 13 villagers as fast as possible, and the like. So that's immediately our goal. We are going to try to grab this 85 wood right off the bat. I'm already thinking, hey, this map has trade routes somewhere. I think there's 3 across the middle if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I played on Himalayas, but I know that there's trade routes. I know that there's at the very least natives, so I'm like, the more wood the merrier. If not, it'll just go into houses and markets and upgrades, because you guys all know I build markets and I build upgrades for sure. I was just calling out some subscribers there because they make jokes about me not upgrading or building a market, but that's besides the point. Anyway, I keep scouting around the map. I'm gonna go get my second herd. Normal stuff at this point, though. But I'm still trying to get a feel for the map, and I happen to find there 150 coin treasure, and that's going to be the most important treasure of the game for me. I started out with 100 coin, with a coin crate to begin with. If I can grab that 150 coin, that means I only need to gather 50 more coin to get to the third age after my 700 coin shipment. So immediately I'm all super excited about grabbing that treasure and moving on. I do make sure this time I only grab 10 villagers, and I do make sure this time that I manage to get the 3 villagers sent quickly. I do a little bit better job this game, making sure that I get the shipments sent in the speed and the order that I want them. That way there's not much delay, that way I get the immediate benefit. I do take this moment to look at his deck. I notice he's got a lot of food cards, a lot of upgrades, and a lot of resource crates. I think I said food cards, but I meant resource crates. He's got a lot of resource crates, so immediately I'm already kind of subconsciously thinking he might be fast fortressing or trying some kind of strategy. I mean, it's unusual to see a rush deck with so many upgrades in it, so right off the bat I'm already kind of thinking this guy's got a little bit something going on. Granted, I don't play British. I haven't played versus British that much. Seems like everybody who wants to play me either plays Dutch or French or something incredibly overused, or Russian or Ottoman. So playing British in itself is a little bit new for me as a treat, I guess you could say. So I sent my dog off to explore the map. I really shouldn't have let him sit by my town center idle for so long. That was just really a poor workmanship on my own part. I keep checking out treasures. Remember, we're just waiting for 800 food. And at this point, I'm trying to march him away and get the crack shot on that tiger as fast as I can without getting my explorer taking damage, while making sure I age as fast as possible. But it did not necessarily go as well as it could have, unfortunately. On the bright side, though, it does definitely look like I'm about to get this treasure, and that's super exciting. Like I said, if I get this treasure, I'm off to an amazing start. And this was an excellent match. I was so thrilled. Not necessarily with the outcome of this match. I don't want to spoil anything, so just watch and see. But I was thrilled with the treasures. I was thrilled with playing this match. I noticed a 5% discount there, and I'm like, wow, this is just great treasure central. And I was right, by the way. You may notice there is a cross line of trade routes across the middle of the map. So all in all, very, very good. We got our 300 gold. We're aging in the second. We're aging with 500 food. All very, very good stuff. And I noticed a wood treasure there. So even though I want that percentage treasure, I think I am going to go try to grab that wood treasure. That way I can get a trade post coming fairly soon. Remember, we want to really lame the fact that we can have bonus shipments. So we found our dog, I should say, found our third trading post. And at this point, we're going pretty good. Himalayas is an interesting map. There's a lot of hunts, a few scattered mines. It's not like Deccan where you start with a 5,000 gold mine in your town, where for the most part of the entire game you don't even need to leave your town for wood, or for gold, pardon me. But in this game you kind of need to move around a little bit for resources. But that's not the end of the world. I do send a settler up to my town center. I send 3 settlers up to my town center. I sent them to start walking, and I'm going to get that 700 gold immediately sent to me. I learned my lesson from last game. You know, in order to have this really fast fortress, we really got to keep everything just running like clockwork. So I think we did here. And as soon as we have 1,200 food, which we just crossed, we're going to shift the majority of our villagers, I guess, to wood and start aging. And I don't know if I'm incorrect, but it looked like I might have actually been able to age up without that 500 food and make it, because I now have 1,600 food, and Yeah, I have 1,600 food, almost 1,700, which means I didn't need that 500 to make a fast age up. So I'm wondering if maybe I should age with less villagers or something. It merits some thought. And I send a villager straight through my town center there. It was way faster than sending it. It was way faster than walking it around, so I thought I could click them both out there, but that didn't work out. But either way, we managed to get them out and on and through pretty fast. We have a pretty good stockpile of food coming. I'm going to send 4 Hussars as my ship instead of pikemen, and I'm going to do that for a few reasons. First off, I'm expecting him to go primarily musketeer, so I'm going to actually want Hussar to run around his town to put pressure on him. That way I don't have to worry about musketeers marching straight into my base. And also, pikemen generally won't do good against musketeers because by the time the pikemen will close the distance to the musketeers, the pikemen will be dead. So that's why I didn't go with the pikemen aging up or the pikemen crossbowmen mix, although that might not have been a bad choice per se. I don't know. I keep looking around. I'm going to try to grab a trade post here. It's kind of one of my big priorities, and we are neck and neck in score to this point. Now, this is kind of where the fast fortress gets a little funky. It's 6 minutes into the game. One of us should be attacking the other one, or we should both be going to the third age. I'm going to the third age. And I'm kind of at least on my seat here because I'm expecting units just to start marching in. If he gets units in and attacking me before I get my units shipped, I'm going to be in some serious trouble. So that's kind of the downside of fast fortressing, I guess, is you have this vulnerable period, and it can be rough to fast fortress in a single player game, as you're going to see. So again, not spoiling anything. I'm just saying it can be rough. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying, guys, don't get mad at me. I'm not spoiling the match. So keep scouting out with my dog. I'm leaving my explorer right by that trade post I want because, like I said, I want to get as fast as possible. Now, I did look at my deck, and I do not have the trading post card unlocked, the advanced trading post card, but I will definitely look into unlocking it and putting it into my deck. So just felt like I should mention that to you guys. That way you're not mad at me for not having it. I send my dog to do a lot of scouting, by the way. I just shift click, that way I can get hundreds of waypoints. That way he'll just constantly crisscrossing their town looking for stuff. And I'm building a trade post and houses. Obviously, remember, we're going to get a huge influx of mercenaries coming very soon. And I'm going to keep making villagers and start putting them on gold because, remember, our goal here is to get the mercenaries, to pay for the mercenaries. We're going to need gold for that. So that's kind of the big plan at this point. My first card going into the third age, the fortress age, is going to be the 2 cannon. The reason why I'm going to send the 2 cannon is because I'm expecting musketeers and longbowmen to just start rushing into my town. The fact that it's 7 minutes and 30 seconds into the game and he hasn't yet is quite, I don't want to say disturbing, but it's perplexing perhaps. I was just surprised, to say the least. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, I opted at this moment to build a trade post, and I was actually aware of this. I was low on wood at that point, and I was almost full up on population, so that might not have been the smartest choice for me to make, but I decided to do it because I wanted to get experience and more shipments, and there comes in that huge army I was expecting. Now, I am going to send the cannons just to stay put and start firing. Hopefully, like I said, we can kill the majority of them without losing too many units. However, it's pretty clear just from a sheer numerical advantage that he has, that despite the fact that I'm going to kill tons of his units, he is going to be able to kill my cannons, and that is not good. However, I am sending pikemen, and even though I just a few minutes earlier said pikemen are awful, in this case it's going to work well because he's going to have these units right around my town trying to siege them, and so the pikemen will literally be able to walk right up and be close enough to melee them and be an effective unit. So even though, like I said, it's not necessarily the best choice, it's going to work out in this instance. And hopefully he'll be too focused on attacking my town center to go for and kill the pikemen, and it looks like he is. So I get a pretty nice, do a pretty nice job there of managing to stall his first attack. We do see some more grenadiers incoming, but pikemen are hand units. I think they should do good against grenadiers. I don't see grenadiers very often in this game, actually. So I'm kind of, I don't know if excited is the right word, but I'm kind of like, oh cool, there's grenadiers on the battlefield. Most people don't use grenadiers. I did send lancers as my third card, or fourth card, I'm not sure. I did send lancers as my next card, because I figured if he was spamming grenadiers, because I know there's a British grenadier strat, I figured hand cavalry would be the best thing I could use to attack it. And somehow I accidentally attacked that treasure garden, or maybe he did and I got the advantage of it. I'm not sure, but either way, that treasure's unguarded. So at this point in the game, I'm like, I'm gonna get the 5% discount. Great. We managed to defeat his initial rush, and we have a little bit of a push going on him. Good. Not the end of the world so far at this point by any means. Definitely holding on fairly well. However, we are in a little bit of trouble considering that our army, dedicated to stopping his army of musketeers and grenadiers, is lancers and pikemen, and that should be somewhat concerning to us at this point, if only because they're not the most efficient units per se. I moved those villagers. I don't remember. Oh, I moved them to gather 600 gold. I sent this 600 gold because I wanted to I wanted to send mercenaries as soon as possible. So that's why we sent the 600 gold, and we are going to build the 3rd trading post. And unfortunately, it appears at this point like we're not going to be able to destroy any of his buildings by the time we're not going to be able to destroy any of his buildings fast enough. So that's kind of a slight disappointment. And I don't send a shipment right away because I did not know what to send. I was kind of playing and thinking, like, what am I going to need? I guess this is one of those opportunities where I'd want to have another unit card, I guess, in the deck. I ended up going for the fort, though, because I do see he has a barracks and an artillery foundry on literally about the half point of the map. And so I want to kind of get my own defensive counter stand going. I remember in my earlier matches talking about how friendly fire is just so tremendously helpful. Not to mention that the fort acts as a bonus drop-down point. Now you may notice at this point I have accidentally clicked my mini-map to show only military units, and I did not realize this till the end of the game. And I literally will spend the next 10 minutes running around the map looking for units with my hussar and never understanding why economic units don't pop up on my mini-map. Like, it didn't come to me. And so I was running around with them looking like, where are all his villagers? He's got to have farms. You know, where's his houses? It never even occurred to me that perhaps I had misclicked on my mini-map, unfortunately. So we start to get the fort built. We do see some villagers over there, so I'm like, sweet, we're going to go kill them. And for my next card, I have 1,000 gold, so I am going to send the Highlanders. I figured, you know what, let's start getting a serious, real army. I see some pikemen and the such on his side coming, but I'm going to back away. I'm going to keep making villagers. Remember, always make villagers. Rule number 1 playing this game. And we're going to hopefully use our trading post and shipment advantage here to kind of parlay into a little bit of a win. Now, again, I'm still running around wondering, where's everything? I feel like that kid who's left out. And unfortunately, he's going to run to my fort with grenaders. Again, still making grenaders. I kind of expected him not to at this point, but he still is. And he destroys my fort. So I lost my fort, and I have a pitifully small army, and at this point, I am in a bad, bad way. He's got the tempo on me. Chess and tempo. In chess, tempo is basically when the opponent's reacting to you. You're reacting to your... I'm sorry, let me start over. Tempo is when people are responding to you, right? So when I have the tempo, he's responding to me. When he has a tempo, I'm having to respond to his actions. At this point, I'm responding to his actions, which is not good for me. I do send the Highlanders, though, which are absurdly powerful. I don't know why I haven't used Highlanders before. Look at this. I'm just picking them off, easily running around. I've killed 5 or 6 units. So, at this point, using Highlanders is great. I have 9, so I'm going to have to make them stretch as far as possible. I'm doing kind of a hit-and-run strategy. Remember, I don't want to lose any of these units. They're way too valuable, and I'm going to send the 4 missionaries as my next shipment, thinking, you know what? After I beat these units, which they will, I'm going to want to immediately heal all these Highlanders up. We're not going to want any of them to have residual damage. I know it's have a few close to dying. But I managed to keep all 9 Highlanders alive through that fight, which is awesome, right? So, again, we managed to close the game, and his score is pretty low at this point. And it was really interesting watching the dynamic of the score in this game, because every time he went on the offensive and lost units, his score went dramatically under mine. But then anytime we had this lull between fighting, his score dramatically rose. And I mean, that I guess was just because he had so many more villagers than me, but that's what's going on. You may notice I do have villagers on food at this point. I'm aware that I'm going to have to switch to a traditional war if I'm going to win. I thought about building a field hospital, but I figured, you know what, I'll just micromanage those guys and use them. And I want to send more mercenaries, and I'm so close, but so far away. So I wave my mouse in frustration. I don't send resources or villagers, although those both would have been good choices. I instead elect to send my use my trading post to get me more resources. And I start to make barracks because I'm aware this war is going to have to go into a normal type war, I guess you could say. Again, getting really close to being able to build, to order more mercenaries. I think my goal at this point is to make maybe Swedish pikemen. I'm not sure. Like I said, I just wanted something powerful to back me up. And you may notice his score is rebounding quite quickly. We're almost neck and neck. I mean, he's come from a 40-point deficit a few turns ago to a 30-point, and he's going to surpass me pretty soon. And I see some villagers there, and I realized, oh man, I made a mistake. You know, I fixed my mini-map. So hopefully I'm sweet, I'm going to be able to kill some. And unfortunately there's a few pikemen there, so I'm pretty much just forced to run by. But it is good because it distracts him, and I am going to send some skirmishers, and then I did not realize that skirmishers were using my gold. That's right, I was wondering, hey, why don't I have enough gold now to send more mercenaries right here? And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's right. I'm making skirmishers. Stupid mistake on my part, I guess, in that way. It is good, though, that I have skirmishers coming, because I've seen a lot of musketeers and pikemen from him, so it is the right choice. And in comes some men attacking my trading post, and that's a bummer. I do, by the way, you may notice, garrison my sergeants. Sergeants? I garrison my surgeons. Pardon me, guys, there. I do not do a good job speaking the English language sometimes. I garrisoned some surgeons in my town center, and this, by the way, is where I realized, oh wait, nope, I put all my gold into those skirmishers. So instead I switched to crossbowmen. But, I send the 12 Swedish pikemen, I order the crossbows, and as I was saying, I garrisoned my surgeons in my town center between fights because I wanted to keep them safe. I didn't want to risk them wandering off or losing them. I wanted to win. I start to build a market 16 minutes in the game, guys. It's never too late, guys, to build a market. That's the moral today, but no. All seriousness. But you may notice at this point his score has thoroughly and soundly clipped mine by 20 points. So he is just dramatically, like, he must have a huge economic base at this point because he throws an army at me, I kill it, and think, oh great, I got him now, and then his score just rebounds to be way more than mine. So not a good place to be at this point, and I realize I have to go on the offensive. If his score is rising so fast, I cannot afford to sit back and pansy foot around. That's basically it. Like, I knew, crap, like, I have to kill him, I have to get some tempo, I have to do something, I can't let him just boom all day. He's British, they get a house from each villager. They get a house from each villager. They get a villager from each house they build. Pardon me, my English again. So I am very aware that at this point, we need to do something dramatic and win the game. So I go and attack him, kill lots of his units, but then I realize, wow, it doesn't look like I'm going to win this battle. I've lost some Highlanders, so we're going to save whatever units we can. Try to win, make more crossbowmen, and we send the Swedish pikemen to go attack him and flank him, but it doesn't work out. So I do send my 4 surgeons to go heal up, and look how far his score fell. He lost 40 points in that fight. So whatever he's fighting me with, I'm killing a lot of it, and it's costing him a ton of resources to try to fight me. So, I mean, at that point, despite the fact that I know I'm in trouble, I know that I can possibly beat him. Now, at this point, I do want to upgrade a unit, but I don't have enough wood. So I'm kind of sitting there going, well, poopy. No, not enough wood. Poopy wasn't what I was thinking. I was thinking kind of like, well, shit, you know. But I was trying to be a little bit more, not be profane in this situation. I'm just going to shut up now. I do, by the way, build a stable at this point because I know that he is definitely going pretty big on the grenadiers, and I do not think that they can do anything to hand cavalry. And I know that lancers will also decimate any musketeers that he sends my way. Now, he ends up marching some grenadiers. I guess it might have been by accident into my town, and they get killed, I think, without a single loss. But all the same, I'm going to send the surgeons out. I'm going to heal these units. My mercenaries are way too expensive to let die accidentally. So we're going to make sure everybody's in tip-top fighting shape. And at this point, I do buy my market upgrades. Remember, a market without the upgrades, I guess, is useless. And I want to buy upgrades for my military units, my crossbowmen specifically, but I still did not think of it yet. I'm so sorry, guys. I see the comments, and they're like, why didn't you upgrade? I'm like, I just didn't think of it. Or, why didn't you do this? I forgot, you know, and I feel so bad, but I really do in-game. I'm just like, win, 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 win. Not necessarily aware of what I'm doing on the grand scheme of things or what I'm spending. I'm just spending things to try to win. I do go for attacking him at this point, and most of my Swedish pikemen don't do such a great job here, unfortunately. But, all the same, it does provide my ranged unit some distraction and allow them to really start killing stuff effectively. And we are going to get some Lancers up in there to kind of take out those longbowmen we see skirting around the back of the map. I did send the 4 towers. Again, I want to kind of reestablish this area as immune to raiding, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what we got going on here. Got the towers going, and we got 4 towers being built, and we managed to pretty soundly right here defeat his army, and his score just fell dramatically again, which, again, really surprising to me. But so we managed to kind of turn the tables, I guess. And I mean, I guess most of his economics or his economic value was in his military. So when we were able to defeat his military, kind of swung the pendulum in our favor a little bit here. So we are going to keep attacking. We are going to destroy the barracks, and we are going to destroy the units around. We are going to be able to kill that villager. And at this point, it looks pretty good. I mean, we were in a pretty bad spot when we lost our fort. But at this point, we got a good amount of crossbowmen and a good amount of other units. We're going to destroy his forward base, and now he is going to be soundly on the defensive, which is, of course, excellent. That's exactly where we want to be. And you look at that, guys. Oh, wait, I didn't buy it. Did I? I was about to buy it, and the game started lagging. But I was about to buy an upgrade, so I do read the comments, and I do care about you guys. There you go. And I kind of wondered at this moment, I'm like, is he dropping? Please tell me he's not dropping. I hate droppers. And he dropped. So, I mean, I felt like we had such a good game going. I mean, it was back and forth. He had the upper hand, I had the upper hand. And in the end, I managed to come out on top, but he dropped. And, man, what a awful way to lose. And I just want to go on a little bit of a rant here, guys. You know what? It's a freaking game. That's right. It's a game. It's not real life. We play for fun. We play because we're bored. We play because we like history. We play because we like strategy. Whatever the reason you play for, it's just a game. I mean, to ruin, to cheat, or to drop because you don't want to lose rank, it's really just cheap. Like, what kind of man are you? I mean, if you have the ability to enjoy the celebration and you take joy when you win a game, then you should have the balls, the fortitude as a person to sit there and lose a game. And you know me, I've lost some awful games and I felt pretty bad about it. But I mean, you should take it. If you can dish it, you should be able to take it. So I was really annoyed at this point, but he clearly dropped, and it was really unfortunate for me. So that he did. But either way, I said good game because it was great to play British. It was great to play on a new map. It was great to have such a back and forth game all around. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. It was probably my favorite game I put up on this channel. I'm gonna say here, I was shocked by how well those Highlanders did. I didn't even not know they had a 63 ranged attack. That is ridiculous. 63 for a unit you can have early in the game. That is just craziness at this point. And I was also very, very surprised by how well the surgeons did. And you may notice there, I had a huge resource disadvantage. I had a huge military disadvantage. I did not outgain him in a single resource. I was actually far behind him in most of them. But my much smaller army killed way more units. So I felt so great as I typed in the comments, because I wanted to remind myself to say it. That awesome moment when you are outspent, outgathered, outmanned, and you still pull out the victory. I didn't see it coming, but it was a great game back and forth. Like I said, it's fun to play different strategies. It's fun to win close games, even if you lose them, and it's a real shame that it ended the way it did. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm loving providing you guys the content. I'm loving all the feedback you're giving me. It means so much. So please keep leaving comments. I'm going to try to respond to them. Keep leaving requests. I have a list of requests. I'm going to start getting to them over the weekend when I have some free time. So I just want to let you know that I am listening. I am aware. I care so much about you guys. I'm so grateful for the subscribers. So thanks so much. And until next time, guys, good luck and happy hunting.